I am rebuilding the Texas Longhorns in college football 25. I'm going to be using the existing head coach that they have on here so that way we can get a little bit of a head start on the recruiting and everything. Recruiting should be fairly easy and simple with this team. We're not going to be able to get every single player that we want, but it shouldn't be too difficult. The one thing I'm going to be doing differently though, as opposed to what happened with the real Texas Longhorns in this season, is we're starting Arch Manning right away over top of Quinn Ewers. Ewers is playing up to 93. Manning's playing up to 88 as a redshirt freshman. It's going to be the Manning show from here on out. Ewers is going to be the backup unless he decides to transfer after this season. At running back, we have 87 overall, Baxter as a sophomore. Wide receiver, we have Bond 88, Bolden 87, Golden 86. Good receivers here. Tight end Niblack is a 86. Left tackle is a 95. Left guard's 85. Center 86. Right guard 83. Right tackle is a weakness on the offensive lineman. He is a redshirt freshman, 78 overall. Left end is a 90. Right end is an 86. D tackle is an 82. I'm going to go with Bledsoe as our number 2 D tackle since he's a sophomore, 80 overall, over top of Broughton, who is an 81 senior. Left outside linebacker is an 87. Middle linebacker is a 79 sophomore. Right outside linebacker is a 79 senior. Corner 88, Malik Muhammad as a sophomore is the best on the team. 84 Holmes, 83 Cole. Free safety 89 senior, strong safety 89 senior. I did forget to mention that the Texas Longhorns are in the SEC for the first time, and they're ranked number 3 at this point in the game, and they're a 4.5-star school. 88 overall with 87 offense and 89 defense, but we're starting out with in year 1. Here's what recruiting is looking like. As you would expect, we have a ton of really good high caliber players interested in coming to the school. I was able to scout every single player and get rid of some busts, but this is what we're going after. We got a 4-star gym quarterback. He is the 6th best quarterback at his position, but he was the first gym that I found. Going after him for sure. He's a scrambler. I think he has like 93 speed. We're also going after a 4-star gym improvising quarterback, so a different style quarterback. 5-star running back, 5-star running back, 5-star wide receiver, the number 1 receiver in the country. We're already first on this list. Another 5-star wide receiver we're first on. As you can see, we're first on pretty much all these guys. Going after all gyms or 5-stars that were not busts to begin with. I do still have some 5-stars on the board that are busts, like this guy right here, but he's still a 5-star. If I found some 4-star busts, I took them off of the board completely. We got our first commitment of the rebuild, 4-star quarterback Juan Trahan from Sandy, Utah. We also got a 4-star tight end George Vanderdoes from Houston, Texas. We got a 5-star wide receiver Marco D'Imperio from Fort Worth, Texas. We are 4 games into the regular season, and as you can see, we are 4-0, ranked number 1 in the country. Let's go. Beat Colorado State 31-7. We beat Michigan 28-14. That's the only loss they have on the season so far. We beat UTSA 28-14, and we destroyed UL Monroe 48-24. Look at the stats in this game. See how Arch Manning's doing here. 271 rating. Holy cow, I think that's the highest I've ever seen. 250 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did get sacked 3 times. 88% completion is insane. Baxter had 119 yards rushing and a touchdown. Backup running back had 59 yards rushing. Manning only had 2 for 3. All right. Olden had 4 catches, 2 of them for touchdowns, 149 yards. Golden had a touchdown receiving. Defensively, Michael Taffy had 7 tackles, led the team. We got a bunch of sacks here. Hill, Burke, Bledsoe, and Sorrell all had 1. And then Taffy and Broughton both had half a sack. Malik Muhammad, the best cornerback on the team as a sophomore, 87 overall, 1 interception. Recruiting update, we are looking pretty good overall. We have not lost out on anybody at the moment, but we are looking pretty close on a couple of these guys. There's one of them here, this one right here. 5-star right guard Joshua Castellanos. We are deadlocked tied with Ohio State. Ohio State just had a visit in week 4, but that wasn't enough for him to commit. So hopefully this week we can go ahead and lock him up. But one way or another, he's going to either Ohio State or to us. But we're in first place on everybody else except for this guy. Just barely started putting 25 hours on him for the first time ever recruiting him. We got another 4-star quarterback, Nathan Cheeks from Marrero, Louisiana. 5-star wide receiver Billy Westbrook from Awa Beach, Hawaii. Wow. 5-star right guard Joshua Castellanos. He came to us. Let's go. From Sugar Land, Texas. 5-star defensive end Derek Muwamba from Dalton, Georgia. Man, we're getting a bunch of guys here. We actually ended up losing out on this 4-star gym safety Manny Bravo to LSU. They came in at the last minute and stole him out from under us. We got 4-star free safety Jackson Walls from Hamilton, New Jersey. We ended up losing out on another 5-star gym player to LSU. Man, they're just taking all of our good players. We got a 5-star right tackle Tony Head from Portales, New Mexico. Also 5-star wide receiver Glenn Virgin from Zephyrhills, Florida. I guess that's how you say it. We got a 5-star running back Ryan Frohold from Fairhope, Alabama. 5-star defensive end Jason Amerson from Hamburg, New York. 4-star quarterback Jeremiah LaRue from Arlington, Texas. We are 8 games into the regular season and we are 7-1. We are ranked number 9 in the country. We beat Mississippi State 42-10. We beat Oklahoma 38-30, and then we lost to Georgia. Just like in real life, Texas lost to Georgia at this point, and they were 6-0 at that point. So yeah, Georgia, we lost 44-23, and we beat Vanderbilt just like in real life, 28-21. Let's look at the stats in this game. Manning a 150 rating, 280 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 69% completion. Baxter had 89 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Wisner had 1 rushing touchdown. Bond had 75 yards, Bolden 72 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, Cole and Hill both had 5 tackles leading the team. Sacks, Sorrell had 2, Burke had 1, and no interceptions. We got a 4-star left guard Adrian Lipinski from Draper, Utah. 4-star center Chad King from Aubrey, Texas. We have finished the regular season 8-4. We are not ranked at this point, so yeah, this last 4 games didn't go too well for us. We lost to Florida 27-16, beat Arkansas 21-13, barely lost to Kentucky 35-33, and then Texas A&M beat us 38-17 to close out the season. Manning had a 109 rating in this game. That's not good. 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked 4 times, 61% completion. Baxter only had 11 carries, 58 yards, 1 touchdown. Bond had 63 yards. Golden had the 1 receiving touchdown, only 23 yards. Aaron had the most tackles with 7 sacks. We had 0 interceptions, 0. Carson Beck ends up winning the 2024 Heisman Trophy, 4,100 yards, 47 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. That is crazy. We didn't play well enough to make it to the conference championship or the playoffs, but we did make it to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl against Maryland. It's early National Signing Day and we have the number 1 ranked recruiting class in the country. 20 total commits at this point. I stopped going after players because we ran out of 4 stars to go after. I decided not to recruit 3 stars. I'm gonna wait till we get to the transfer portal and see what we're looking like there. We got 8 5-stars, the most by far, and we also got 12 4-stars. Just played the bowl game and Isaiah Bolden went off. He had 6 catches, 123 yards, and 3 touchdowns. SEC Offensive Player of the Week. However, we did lose the bowl game to Maryland 33-28. Finishing 8-5 on the season. Let's look at the stats in this game. Manning a 150 rating, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 4 times, 64% completion. Baxter had 74 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. Saw that Bolden had the crazy game receiving. Aaron had 12 tackles. We had 0 sacks and 0 interceptions. Since the season is over, it's time to look at the stats on the season. Manning had 3,100 yards passing, 30 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, 69% completion with the 170 rating. Pretty good season from a freshman quarterback, redshirt or not. Baxter had 1,100 yards, almost 6 yards per carry. That's crazy. 12 touchdowns. Dude is only a sophomore. Receiving, Bolden had almost 1,000 yards with 16 touchdowns. Nice. Bond 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. Diblack, the tight end, 560 yards, 1 touchdown. Golden had 500 yards with 5 touchdowns. Defensively, Williams had the most tackles with 66. Tackles for loss, Broughton had 5. Sacks, Burton had 10 leading the team. Not Burton, Burke. Ethan Burke had 10 leading the team by far. Sorrell had 5.5. Williams, Hill, Bledsoe, and Akana all 4 of them had 2. Makuba had 2 interceptions. Lafau had 2. Hill and Muhammad both had 1. Looking at the 2024 college football playoff bracket, Ohio State beats Utah 28-14. They went 16-0 and became the champs. We only had 1 second-team National All-American, and that's Kelvin Banks Jr., the left tackle, 95 overall. Nobody else made it to the All-American team. We have 5 players wanting to leave the team. Quinn Ewers going to the draft. We'll let him walk. Kelvin Banks Jr., I want to try to get him to stay. He decided to stay. All right, nice. Definitely wasn't expecting that since projected to go in the first round, but we'll take it. Isaiah Bond wants to transfer out. We're gonna get him to stay. Come on. No, damn. Defensive tackle Aaron Bryant. He decided to stay, and then running back when Travion Wisner, high chance that he'll stay, and he decided to stay. Everyone else, we have free safety Andrew Makuba projected to go in the 5th round, graduating. Strong safety Jedi Barron projected to go in the 6th round, and wide receiver Silas Bolden projected to go in the 7th round. Quinn Ewers gets drafted in the 1st round as expected. Free safety Makuba goes in the 4th round. Barron goes in the 5th round, and Bolden, the wide receiver, goes in the 6th. Looking at the transfer portal, we actually have a ton of 4 stars and 3 stars and way more 2 stars that want to come to the team. One thing I've never seen though is a 5-star transfer. Has anyone else ever seen that before? I've not seen it in any of the schools I've done, but I've typically done not very high rated schools. Texas Longhorns definitely the highest rated school I've ever done this for. National Signing Day, and we finished with the #1 recruiting class in the country. Only 27 players, but we did get 8 5-stars and 19 4-stars. We got 8 5-stars, 5 more than 2nd place, which was Alabama. We can now see the development traits of our new recruits. We got an elite 4-star quarterback, star dev wide receiver, that's a 5-star. We got elite athlete scrambling quarterback, star dev wide receiver, that's a 5-star. Star dev defensive end, that's a 5-star. Elite right tackle, that's a 5-star. Elite athlete physical wide receiver, that's a 5-star gym. Star dev center, that's only a 4-star. Elite at defensive end, 4-star gym. Star dev run stopping athlete, that's a 4-star gym. He'll play safety if he has enough speed. 91, yeah, 6'1", 220 pounds. Star dev athlete run stopping linebacker, it's a 4-star gym. 4-star gym, star dev. 4-star right guard, that's a star dev. All these transfers that we got, we have one dude that's a star dev, PJ Williams at left tackle. Everyone else is either impact or normal. Ooh. Here's the starting lineup for season 2. At quarterback, we got Arch Manning, still only at 88 overall. He hasn't really developed that much, playing up to a 90 overall. Trey Owens, backup quarterback, playing up to a 79 as a redshirt freshman. Running back, Baxter's a 92, Blue is a 85, Wisner's a 83. Wide receiver, Golden is a 88 overall with 99 speed. Cook is a 87. Wingo actually jumped up to 85 as a redshirt freshman. Tight end, Velling is a 88 and Niblak is a 87. Left tackle, Banks came back. He was supposed to go to the draft. We get drafted in the 1st round, but he's like, nope, trying to get a ship for my team. 96 overall. Left guard's a 89. Center is a 82. Right guard's a 83, and right tackle we got a redshirt freshman. He's already playing up to 88 overall. Dude developed like crazy in the offseason training. Left end, Trey Moore is a 92 as a redshirt senior. Right end is 87. D tackle is a 86 and an 84. We do have a redshirt freshman that's a 81. Gabe Bowers. Left outside linebacker Anthony Hill is a 92. Middle linebacker is a 85, and right outside linebacker is a 83. Cornerback Muhammad's up to a 91. Cole's a 85, and then a redshirt freshman 83 overall Kobe Black. Free safety, we got a redshirt freshman Xavier Filsame. Dude actually developed pretty nicely in offseason training, so he overpassed the junior. And a strong safety Jelani McDonald's at 83. Schedule this year is pretty crazy, but it's the SEC, so it's expected. We start out against the #1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, who just won the national championship. We're playing there also, so that's gonna be crazy. San Jose State, UTEP, Troy, Georgia's #2, Mississippi State, Oklahoma's #24, Florida #14, Kentucky, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, and then we close out against #6, Texas A&M. Recruiting for season 2, we actually had 2 players that instantly committed when offering scholarships, and they're both 4 stars. This guy's a 4-star gym, strong safety, and then we got a 4-star cornerback who's not a bust or a gym. The only other time I've ever seen insta commits like that was when I was doing the Air Force rebuild just for myself. I wasn't recording it, and I think like 5 of the first 35 guys that I offered the scholarships to, they instantly committed because they just already knew they wanted to go to the Air Force. I think they were only like 3 stars though. Well, other than that, we're going after some 4 and 5-star gyms here. These are all 5-star gym, 5-star gym, 5-star gym, 5-star gym, another gym. Yeah, I'm trying to get the best players possible here. Then we get down here to some 5 stars that are busts, but this dude actually has decent speed and he's an athlete, scrambling quarterback, so he could potentially play other positions. I already know how I feel about that. Yeah, we're trying to get the best, highest tier possible players here to keep the tradition going and try to win multiple ships here. We got our third commitment of the season since we had 2 insta commits. We got 5-star right guard Gage Cahill from Tacoma, Washington. We got a 5-star right guard from Hawaii, Trey Cheek from Honolulu. We got a 5-star defensive end Bobby Reed from Beaumont, Texas. And we got a 5-star center Josh Smith from Warminster, Pennsylvania. We're 4 games into the regular season and things are not going well. We are 2-2 on the year. We lost to Ohio State 30-15 to start the season. We beat San Jose State 35-21 and we beat UTEP 42-11, but we lost to Troy 31-20. Let's look at the stats in this game. Manning had a 130 rating. That's not good. 237 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Come on, bro. 73% is pretty good. Baxter 61 yards but 0 touchdowns, only 2.7 per carry. Dante Golden had a rushing touchdown with 33 yards. Or Cook, my bad. No, I got Matthew Golden and Dante Cook mixed together. Receiving, Wingo had 86 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, Hill had the most tackles with 8 sacks. Moore had 2.5 by himself, and then McCullover had half a sack. I was gonna say McElevin on that. And things don't get any easier for us because our very next game is at number 1 Georgia, who's only 2-0. But yeah, it's not gonna be a great game. Recruiting is going quite well for us. We already got 4 5-stars here and we're in the lead on a ton more. Second place on this guy. Trying to counter it with the visit in week 7. Yeah, it goes. But overall, recruiting is actually looking pretty sweet right now. We pick up our 5th 5-star wide receiver Bruce Levin from Mesquite, Texas, and we got our 6th 5-star here, tight end Bradley Kendricks from Mashpee, Massachusetts, and another 5-star quarterback Kyrie Forrest from Saraland, Alabama. Another 5-star quarterback Khalil Cotter from Overland Park, Kansas. They're just raining in, man. I'm starting to fall behind pretty far here on this 5-star Jim outside linebacker to Ohio State. We have a visit scheduled for week 7, but I'm going to try something that I've never tried before. I don't have a good hard sell for this guy because we have a D+ in proximity to home because he's in Ohio. But I'm going to go ahead and hard sell, and I'm also going to do a soft sell where we have 2 really good grades. Well, we have 3 really good grades, but he doesn't like the athletic facilities. It's not one of his motivations. So I'm going to try both of these, and then we can also spend 5 more hours to get to 65. See if that helps us get us boost or not. I've never done it before. We ended up losing out on Zaire Wilbur to Ohio State after I did that experiment, so I guess that's not a good thing to try. I'm not really sure. I'll probably end up trying it again eventually. But hey, we tried it out. We got another 5-star middle linebacker, Storm Flemister from High Point, North Carolina. 5-star running back Jeremiah Ahmad from Temecula, California. 5-star defensive end Glenn Hacker from Hoover, Alabama. 4-star quarterback Quincy Dogby from Hazlet, Texas. We got a lot of 5-stars, man. We actually got an SEC Defensive Player of the Week in Week 8 against Florida. Trey Moore, 0 sacks, but he did have 4 tackles and 4 tackles for loss. Apparently, that's good enough for the National Defensive Player of the Week. I accidentally simulated to the 9th game. We usually stop at the 8th game, but it's not looking good. We're 5-4 at this point. We did lose to Georgia, who's still number 1. Lost to them 34-28. They're 7-0. We did beat Mississippi State 51-17. Beat Oklahoma 25-17. We beat Florida 30-21. And then Kentucky beat us 38-13, and they are 4-3, but they're ranked 24. All right. Look at the stats in this game. Manning had a terrible game, 83 rating. Really, dude? 132 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Got sacked 3 times. Only 44% completion. What the heck is going on with this team, man? Baxter had 84 yards, 5.3 per carry with 1 touchdown. Nothing going on the receiving as expected. Defensively, LaFau had 9 tackles leading the team. Dax Bowers had 1, and then Moore and Bledsoe both had half a sack. No interceptions. We finished the regular season 8-4. We actually went on a 3-game win streak here, and we are actually ranked number 19. We went 6-2 in conference play, but we did not make it to the conference championship game. We beat Arkansas 40-17, beat Vanderbilt 31-21, and then we beat Texas A&M 27-24. Let's look at the stats in this game. Manning, a 191 rating, that's pretty good. 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 78%. Yeah, he had a pristine game. Wisner, 32 yards rushing, 1 touchdown. Receiving, Cook had 84 with a touchdown, Moore 80 with a touchdown, Golden 69, Velding with 54. Defensively, Hill had the most tackles with 10 sacks. Burke had the only 1, and we had 0 interceptions. We did not make it to the playoffs as expected, but we did make it to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl against the Missouri Tigers. It's early National Signing Day, and once again we have the #1 ranked recruiting class in the country with only 25 players. Miami has 34, but we're ahead of them because we have 12 5-stars, which is the most by far. Miami has the second most with 3. That is pretty crazy. 13 4-stars and then 0 3-stars at the moment. We did end up winning the bowl game against Missouri 37-16, so we finished the season 9-4 with a bowl win. Manning had a 129 rating, not the best. 193 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions is pretty good. 60% completion, not bad. Baxter 65 yards rushing. Golden had a rushing touchdown. Receiving, Cook had a receiving touchdown. Moore had a touchdown. Golden had 1. Defensively, we had 4 guys with 4 tackles leading the team. Sacks, Moore had 2. Bowers had 1.5 as a redshirt freshman. Cole had half a sack. We actually had some interceptions here. Kobe Black had 1 and Phil Same had 1. So 2 redshirt freshmen out here getting interceptions in a bowl game. Future's bright. Season is officially over, so it's time to look at the stats. Arch Manning only had 2,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a 149 rating. Let's review what that's looking like compared to last season here. So his rating went way down. What the hell? Yeah, his completion percentage went down. Rating went down. Touchdowns went down. His interceptions went up. Man, he's regressing. Rushing, Baxter had a pretty good season. 174 carries, 938 yards, 5.4 per carry with 9 touchdowns. Receiving, Cook had 700 yards, 7 touchdowns. Moore almost 700 yards with 10 touchdowns. Wingo almost 600 yards with 7 touchdowns. And at tight end, 400 yards with 0 touchdowns. Defensively, Hill had the most tackles with 71. Tackles for loss, Moore had the most with 11. And Moore also had the most sacks with 9. And then we have Burke and Bowers both with 6.5 sacks. Interceptions, Muhammad had 5. Black had 4, Cole had 3, and then Hill, McDonald, and Phil Same all had 1. Looking at the 2025 college football playoff bracket, Alabama beats Penn State 29-22 to win the national championship. They went 16-0. We do have some first-team national All-Americans here. Left tackle Kelvin Banks, he was supposed to go in the first round last year, so he's definitely expected to be a first team. And also another one, Anthony Hill Jr., outside linebacker, 91 overall. Second team, I don't think that we had any at all. Yeah, all right. Freshman, we got 1. Left tackle Brandon Baker, who's already 89 overall. And then defensive tackle Gabe Bowers, 82 overall. We have 3 players that want to leave. 2 of them want to go into the draft. Hill, the linebacker, 91 overall, projected to go in the 2nd. Cook, the wide receiver, is at 87, projected to go in the 5th. And then when Travion Wisner wants to transfer again because of playing time, I'm going to try to get him to stay. He decided to stay once again. I don't think that he's going to be starting, but just in case he has like some crazy development over the offseason training, we get Hill to stay, and we also got Cook to stay. All right, we got all the best players staying. Banks is going to the draft for sure in the 1st round. Trey Morris projected to go in the 2nd round. Campbell projected to go in the 3rd round. Offensive lineman. Tight end Velling projected to go in the 5th, and then wide receiver Matthew Golden projected to go in the 5th as an 87 overall. We have 7 players going to the NFL. 1st round, Kelvin Banks, 96 overall. Trey Moore, the defensive end, goes in the 2nd round, 92 overall. Right guard DJ Campbell goes in the 3rd round, 89 overall. Wide receiver Matthew Golden, 87 overall, goes in the 4th round. Velling at tight end, 88 overall, goes in the 4th round. Defensive end Ethan Burke, 86 overall, goes in the 6th round. And then tight end Amari Niblack, 86 overall, goes in the 7th. So we had a lot of players going to the NFL. We have 6 4-stars in the transfer portal that want to come to our team, so I'm going to go ahead and add them all to the board, and that's probably all I'm going to go after. I'm going to look at our team needs and see if we have any weaknesses anywhere that we need to fill in. National Signing Day, we got the #1 recruiting class in the country once again. 32 total players. We got 12 5-stars and 20 4-stars. Time to look at the dev traits on these players, and we are looking for elite and star dev. We got a star dev here, a 5-star right guard, that's a gem. Star dev defensive end, that's a 5-star. A star dev elite wide receiver, I mean not a star dev, elite dev wide receiver, that's a 5-star gem. I don't even know what the heck I'm saying. Elite athlete possession tight end, that's a 5-star gem. Another elite quarterback, 5-star. Elite 5-star middle linebacker, that is a gem. And these classes are going crazy. A star 5-star defensive end. Elite athlete scrambling quarterback, that's only a 4-star. Star dev cornerback, that's a 5-star bust. That's why I still go after busts. I've seen busts that have elite dev, and I've seen 5-star gems that have impact dev. Like, how does that make any sense? Star dev right tackle, that's a 4-star gem. Star dev right outside linebacker, that's a 4-star. We got elite free safety, that's a 4-star. Star dev center, that's a 4-star gem. star div, star div, and star div. I decided to change the playbook on offense to the Oregon spread. Maybe that'll help Manning get some more stats because he's been hovering around 3,000 yards passing. This past season, he didn't even reach 3,000. I think it was like 2,900 yards. Need to try to get him into some more passing situations. Here is the starting lineup for season 3. Arch Manning finally developed. He was an 89 last year as his true overall. This year he's a 94, playing up to a 95 as a junior. We also changed the offensive playbook, so hopefully he can flourish. A running back, CJ Baxter, is a 93, and then we have Nathan Cheeks, a redshirt freshman that's all the way up to an 87 already. Also, another note, this guy right here, Khalil Cotter, a running back, he's an 83 overall as a true freshman. I'm redshirting him because we don't need him right now, but he was actually an athlete quarterback scrambler. He was only like a 77 overall, I think. Moved on to running back, and he's already an 83 overall. That is insane. Wide receiver, we have DeAndre Moore is a 92, Wingo's a 90, Cook in his senior year is an 87, and then the redshirt freshman Billy Westbrook is already 87 overall. Tight end, Washington's a 82, left tackle is a 90, left guard's a 90, center is a 95, right guard's a 86, and right tackle is a 86. Offensive line's going crazy. Also on the top left hand side, you can see we already ranked number 13, and we are a 5-star team, 92 overall with 94 offense, 92 defense. At left end, we have 87 overall, right end's 86, D tackles 87 and an 86 and an 85. Outside linebacker, we have 93, middle linebackers a 91, outside linebackers 87. Cornerback, Muhammad's a senior now, he's a 91, Max a 87, Black's a 86. Free safety is an 87 senior, and strong safety is an 88 senior. Schedule for this season, we start out against number 6 Ohio State, Texas State, UTSA's number 24, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, Tennessee, number 4 Alabama just won the championship, went 16-0, Auburn, Old Dominion, and Missouri. Recruiting for this season is the same as pretty much the last couple of seasons. You know, we're going after all the big dogs, a bunch of 5-star gems, and other 5-star and 4-star guys that are not bust. Besides that, if it's a 5-star, if they're bust, I still go after them, especially if we need that position. But yeah, same going after the big dogs here. I don't know if we beat Ohio State or not, but we did get the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Wide receiver Jonte Cook in his senior year had 4 catches, 95 yards, and 2 tutties for the boy. We got our first commitment of season 3. It's 5-star quarterback Roderick Cruz from South Jordan, Utah. We also got a 4-star defensive tackle Spencer Kaxer from Long Beach, California. 4-star running back Doug Bellamy from Medford, Oregon. We are 4 games into the regular season, and we are 3-1. We are ranked number 8 in the country. We beat Ohio State 38-14, and they are 2-3 at the moment. They're not even ranked. Beat Texas State 48-17. We did lose to UTSA at the time. They were ranked number 3, I think, because they were 3-0 or something like that. We lost to them 35-28. We beat South Carolina 45-24. Look at the stats in this game. Sellers, not worried about him. Manning, 230 rating, pretty awesome game. 250 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 72% completion. Dude is coming along good. Baxter, 100 yards rushing. Manning had 60 yards rushing with 1 touchdown, and then Cheeks, the redshirt freshman, had 1 rushing touchdown on 44 yards. Wide receiver Moore, 120 yards and a touchdown. Cook had 2 touchdowns. Washington had a touchdown receiving. Defensively, LaFau had the most tackles with 6. We had 1 sack from Zena, and interceptions, 1 from Malik Muhammad, the senior. We got some 2026 Heisman Trophy watch update here. Arch Manning is in the running for the Heisman Trophy. We got another 5-star defensive end, George Napolitano from Richardson, Texas. 5-star defensive end once again, Daquan Cunningham from Somerville, South Carolina. 5-star free safety, Dorian Bissett from Lucas, Texas. 5-star tight end, Eric Dillard from Brooklyn, Mississippi. I didn't know they had a Brooklyn there. 5-star left tackle Javon Sylvia from Rochester, Illinois. 5-star right guard Neil Rodenhauser from Bialea, Mississippi. Tongue twister there. 5-star center Tyrese Boren from St. George, Utah. Man, we're going crazy with the recruiting. And the 5-stars keep flooding in. We got 5-star defensive end Jason Newsom from West Monroe, Louisiana. 5-star cornerback Tremaine Lloyd from Las Vegas, Nevada. It appears that Arch Manning is really flourishing in this Oregon offense because we got the SEC Offensive Player of the Week against Tennessee. 465 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions for the boy. We're 8 games into the regular season and things are going well for us. We are 7-1, ranked number 3 in the country now. Beat Ole Miss 34-27. Beat Oklahoma 20-17. Barely beat LSU 39-38. They're still ranked number 12 despite being 4-3. We beat Tennessee 49-38, and they're ranked number 13. They're 6-2. Look at the stats in this game. We saw Arch Manning had a crazy game because he won the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Rushing Baxter 71 yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving Moore had 179 yards and 3 touchdowns on 7 catches. Nice. Cook 100 yards, 1 touchdown. Wingo had 93 yards. Defensively, LaFau had the most tackles with 7 sacks. Mwamba had 1, and Mack had 1 interception. Arch Manning really going crazy now. You got back-to-back SEC Offensive Player of the Week, this time against Alabama. 324 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. We got another 5-star running back, Alex Longo from St. Louis, Missouri. 5-star right tackle, Brett Goethel from Houston, Texas. 5-star free safety, Xavier Fogg from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. This is our best season by far. We finished the regular season 11-1, ranked number 1 in the country. Beat Alabama 59-27. They went 9-2. Beat Auburn 38-17. They went 8-3. Beat Old Dominion 31-26. They're a terrible team. Beat Missouri 48-28. Let's look at the stats in this game. The last game of the regular season. Arch Manning only a 160 rating, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks, 70% completion. Nice bus driving game. Baxter 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cheeks had a rushing touchdown, and then Braswell actually had a touchdown. Receiving, Westbrook had a touchdown and Moore had a touchdown. Defensively, Gillette had 7 tackles leading the team. Hill had 2.5 sacks. Bledsoe had 2. Simmons had 1, and Bryant had half a sack, no interception. Arch Manning appears to be in the lead for the Heisman Trophy at this point, and the wide receiver DeAndre Moore is 3rd for the Heisman Trophy. DJ Lagway's at TCU. Okay, cool. We made it to the SEC Conference Championship game against number 4 Alabama. We are number 2 at this point. We did lose the SEC Conference Championship game to Alabama 42-41 by 1 freaking point. That puts them ranked number 2 in the country, and that drops us down to 3. So let's look at the stats on this game. 1 point loss, man. Manning had a 130 rating, 282 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, sacked once, 65% completion. Rushing, Baxter had 98 yards, 3 touchdowns. Manning had 35 yards on 12 carries. Wide receiver Moore had a rushing touchdown, and then Cheeks had a rushing touchdown. Receiving, Cook was the only one with 100 yards. Defensively, LaFau had the most tackles with 8. Hill had 1 sack and no interceptions. And then I was looking at the passing stats here for Eli Holston at quarterback. Dude went crazy. 272 rating, 350 yards, 5 tutties. 2026 Heisman Trophy winner Eli Holstein from Alabama beat Arch Manning out 3,800 yards, 38 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. We did end up getting the 2026 Best Center Award though. Brandon Baker, he's a sophomore, had 5 pancakes and 10 games. We did make it to the college football playoffs as expected. We're going to be playing against number 20 Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Early National Signing Day, once again we are at the top, the number 1 recruiting class at this point. 25 total players. We got 12 5-stars, 12 4-stars, and we got 1 3-star because we needed a kicker. Here's what the 2026 college football playoff bracket's looking like. We got Louisiana, we saw the ranked number 20. Whoever wins goes against number 16 Central Michigan. Honestly, I don't see us not winning against Louisiana and Central Michigan. Obviously anything could happen, but I expect us to win. Then that should put us against either Michigan, Penn State, or UConn in the semifinal. We did beat Louisiana 31-23, so we're taking on Central Michigan. Let's see what the stats are looking like in this game that we won. Arch Manning, 180 rating, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 66% completion. Awesome. Baxter, 85 yards with 1 touchdown. Wingo had a receiving touchdown on 120 yards. DeAndre Moore had 2 receiving touchdowns. Defensively, Mack had the most tackles with 7 sacks. Gillette and Simmons both had half a sack, and we had 3 interceptions. Malik Muhammad had 2 by himself. Damn. And then LaFau had 1 interception. Holy cow, look at the score on this game. We beat Central Michigan 62-13. Wow. Looking at the stats on this game, Manning 213 rating, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 84% completion. Nice. Baxter went crazy, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 yards per carry. And then Cheeks actually had 2 rushing touchdowns. Moore at wide receiver had a rushing touchdown. Wingo 86 yards and a touchdown. Washington had 1 and Cook had 1. Defensively, Gillette had the most tackles with 9 sacks. Hill and Moama both had 1. We had 3 interceptions. Hill had 1. Gillette, and Mack. With that win, that puts us against number 1 Michigan in the semifinal. They're 13-1 on the year. We are 13-2 at this point, and then whoever wins is going to be playing against either Georgia or Alabama. So we could play against Alabama for the 3rd time, and it would be a tiebreaker because we beat them once, they beat us once. Look at here, we beat the number 1 ranked team. We beat them 41-27. Michigan goes down. We made it to the national championship. Manning did not really have a great game. A 110 rating, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, only 47% completion, but he's up to a 97 overall at this point. Baxter 83 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Cheeks had 51. Gibson and Manning both had rushing touchdowns. Receiving, Westbrook had the 1 receiving touchdown as a freshman wide receiver. McDonald had the most tackles with 8. Simmons had a sack, and then Gillette and Amerson both had half a sack. McDonald also, he led the team in tackles and he got an interception. That means that we're going to be playing against the 12-3, 10 ranked Georgia Bulldogs in the national championship. Guess what? The Texas Longhorns are national champions, boy. Arch Manning was the player of the game, 300 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. He did throw 2 interceptions. Final score on the game for the 2026 national championship Texas Longhorns went 15-2. 42-49, so it was a shootout for sure. Gunnar Stockton is a quarterback for Georgia. He had 4 passing touchdowns, 300 yards, and 2 interceptions. But let's look at, we saw Manning almost a 200 rating, 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 62% completion. He also had 10 carries for 57 yards and a rushing touchdown. Baxter 49 yards, and then Cheeks with another rushing touchdown for the freshman running back. Westbrook, the freshman wide receiver, 4 for 117 with 2 touchdowns. Niblett had 2 touchdowns. Wingo had a touchdown. Defensively, LaFau had the most tackles with 10 sacks. Simmons had 2. Amerson had 1.5. Hill and Zena both had 1, and then Gillette had half a sack. And then Malik Muhammad, again in the senior year in the national championship, comes out with 2 interceptions. Dude's going to be a high draft pick for sure. Now that the season is over, it's time to look at the stats. Arch Manning had his best year yet by far. I want to go ahead and compare it to the rest of his season stats. Obviously, he played in a lot more games in the playoffs and everything. 183 rating, way better than ever. Almost 5,000 yards passing here, 4,779. 49 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Completion percentage went up to 68%. 10 yards per attempt, 280 yards per game. Freaking awesome. Rushing, CJ Baxter went crazy. 1,500 yards, 6.5 per carry with 21 touchdowns. I want to see what his other seasons are looking like compared to that as well. So yeah, definitely his best year. 234 carries is the most, 1,500 yards the most, yards per carry the most, touchdowns the most. Arch Manning almost 400 yards rushing with 5 touchdowns. Cheeks, the freshman running back, as a backup, had 9 rushing touchdowns. That is crazy. Oregon playbook is looking nice with Arch Manning at quarterback. Receiving, we had 3 guys over 1,000 yards. Cook, 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. Wingo, 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. Moore, 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. The tight end, 700 yards with 6 touchdowns. Defensively, Gillette had the most tackles with 94. Tackles for loss, Zena and Simmons both had 8 sacks. Anthony Hill Jr. going crazy. First round pick for sure. 14 sacks. Simmons had 8. Mwamba had 8. And then Zena and Bledsoe both had 4.5 interceptions. Malik Muhammad, wow, 11 interceptions in his senior year. Everyone else has either 2 or 1. So we got Gillette, LaFau, Black, Mack, and McDonald all had 2, and then Hill and Williams both had 1. Looking at the first team national All-American, CJ Baxter, the running back. We got the center, Brandon Baker. He won the best center award also. He's already at 98 overall as a sophomore, but he's a redshirt though. Anthony Hill Jr., obviously he's gonna be a first round pick. Second team, we got Ernest Green at right guard. He's a senior, 90 overall. No other second teamers. And freshmen, we don't even have our running back Cheeks here. I thought for sure he would be on there. Defensive end Jason Amerson's 86 overall. Looking at players leaving, Arch Manning is a 97 overall, projected to go in the first round. You have an extremely low chance of persuading him to stay. I'm going to go ahead and try to get him to stay. And he has not been persuaded, so he's going to the draft. DeAndre Moore, wide receiver, he is also projected to go, and he has a 0 chance. Yeah, no thanks. Center Brandon Baker, can we get you to stay? He decided to stay even though we had extremely low chance. That is awesome. Other than that, we got Baxter. He's projected to go in the first round. Running back, outside linebacker Hill, projected to go in the first round. He was projected to go in the first round last year. Man, we have a ton of NFL players here. Malik Muhammad, the cornerback, projected to go in the 2nd round. Green, the right guard, projected to go in the 2nd round. 3rd round for Cook. 4th round for LaFau. 5th round for McDonald, the safety. 5th round for the right tackle, Fano. 7th round for defensive tackle, Aaron Bryant. Then we have a couple 86s and an 87 here that could potentially get drafted. We ended up having 12 players get drafted. We got Manning going in the 1st round, Baxter 1st round, Moore 1st round, Hill 1st round. So we have 4 1st rounders that are leaving the team. 2nd round for Cook, Green, and Muhammad. So 3 2nd rounders. We got 1 4th rounder, middle linebacker, LaFau. And then we got 2 5th rounders, a right tackle, and a strong safety. Bryant goes in the 6th round, and then Derek Williams was not projected to get drafted at safety. He goes in the 7th round. Looking at the transfer portal, we actually have a lot of 4 stars here that want to come to the school. So I'm going to go through and see if we have any needs and potentially if we have some players that we want to bring over that could be better than the ones we already have. National Signing Day, guess who's first once again? The Texas Longhorns. 28 total recruits. We got 12 5-stars, 15 4-stars, and the 1 3-star kicker. You can look at the depth traits now. We got elite quarterback, elite athlete, running back, it looks like, elite speed rushing defensive end, star defensive end, star free safety, elite defensive end, star cornerback. Man, we're just, these recruiting classes are crazy. Star center, star running back, star right tackle, elite free safety, elite athlete run stopper, star dev run stopping linebacker, star dev cornerback. We only got 3 transfers here. We got a defensive end that has impact, tight end that has impact, and then a cornerback that has normal. Ugh. Here's the starting lineup for season 4. We got Trey Owens finally getting his chance to start since Arch Manning went to the NFL. He's just been sitting right in the bench waiting for his time, and now is that time. He's an 87 overall playing up to 89. A running back, Nathan Cheeks, gets his chance now. He's a 92 overall playing up to a 94 as a sophomore. Wide receiver, Wingo's the #1 guy. He has a 94 overall. Westbrook's a 92, Niblett's a 90, and then we actually have redshirt freshman Bruce Levine, who's a 88 overall with 98 speed. At tight end, we got Washington's a 84. Left tackle is a 93. Left guard's a 89. Center is a 98. Dude's going to the draft for sure. Right guard is a redshirt freshman Gruber, who's already an 88 overall. Right tackle is an 89 senior. Left end is an 89, right end is an 88, D tackle is an 86. We got 3 86s right here. Outside linebacker is a 93. Middle linebacker, I'm starting the redshirt freshman Flemister, who's an 82 overall. Right outside linebacker is a 90. At cornerback, we have 89. Hanson Prox, the transfer. He only has normal dev, but he's already developed up to 89 as a redshirt senior. Mack is an 87, Black is an 86. Free safety, we're going with the redshirt freshman Incognito, who's already up to an 87 overall. Strong safety is an 85. We are doing the last 2 seasons of the rebuild, so I'm not even going to recruit at all in this season. I usually don't do that until the last season, but I don't see anybody that we recruit going to be able to start because this team is just a super team already. So there's no point in wasting time on that. We are starting off the season ranked #1 since we just won the national championship. We are at 92 overall with 94 offense and 92 defense. Our schedule is looking like this. We got FCS Northwest first, then Cincinnati. Tennessee's ranked #10. UTEP, Missouri, #20 Auburn, #11 Oklahoma, Rice, #3 Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and LSU. The season is off to a great start here. We're 4 games into the season. We are 4-0. We're still ranked #1. We beat FCS Northwest 51-7, beat Cincinnati 45-17. Beat Tennessee 31-21, and we beat UTEP 45-24. Looking at the stats from the latest win, Kyrie Forrest came in at quarterback. Something must happen to Trey Owens. It doesn't look like he's injured. Maybe he just got injured in the game. But Forrest went crazy. A redshirt freshman that's 81 overall. 368 rating. Never seen it that high ever. 391 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 94% completion. He completed 17 out of 18 attempts. Cheeks had 56 yards. Gibson had 1 rushing touchdown. Westbrook had 3 catches, 2 touchdowns. Niblett had 1 touchdown. Wingo had 2 touchdowns. All 3 of them had over 110 yards. Defensively, Suttle had the most tackles with 9. Simmons had 1 sack and no interceptions. We're 8 games into the regular season and we are 7-1. We did get our first loss, but we're still ranked #6. We beat Missouri 48-27. Beat Auburn 36-14. We lost to Oklahoma 61-35. Wow. And then we beat Rice 30-14. I want to look at the stats in this Oklahoma game. James Incombe is their quarterback. Don't know who that is. Owens is back though. 144 rating, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. 48% completion is terrible. Other than that, he had a pretty solid game. No rushing game or running game was relevant at all apparently. Westbrook 9 catches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Niblett had a touchdown and Wingo had a touchdown. Defensively, Gillette had the most tackles. We have 1 sack for Amerson and no interceptions. We have finished the regular season 11-1. We are ranked number 2 in the country. We beat Alabama 38-32. They fell off. They're only 6-6. Ole Miss, we beat them 38-23. Beat South Carolina 28-16, and we beat LSU 40-34. We did make it to the SEC Conference Championship against OU, who is ranked number 4, and they are 10-2 on the year. Congratulations to the Texas Longhorns for becoming the SEC champs, boy. In that SEC Championship game against Oklahoma, Ryan Wingo went crazy at the wide receiver position. 7 catches, 240 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We beat Oklahoma 59-38, so it was kind of a shootout. 59 points is pretty awesome. Owens had a 263 rating, 426 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks, 82% completion. Love to see that. Cheeks had 42 yards rushing with no touchdowns, but Gibson, the backup running back, he had 2 rushing touchdowns. And who else had one? Oh yeah, wide receiver Niblett had a rushing touchdown. Wingo, we saw he had a crazy game, 2 touchdowns. Westbrook had 2. Niblett also had a receiving touchdown on top of his rushing one. We have 3 guys with 6 tackles here: Prox, Phil Same, and Subtle. Sacks, we got Muamba with 1 and Gillette with 1, and we actually had 2 interceptions, 1 for Kobe Black and 1 for Glenn Virgin. This is how far we are into the future. 2027 Heisman Trophy winner is Florida State quarterback Luke Kromenhoek. 3,001 yards passing with 41 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. He is a senior at this point. We got the 2027 Best Tight End Award for our tight end Jordan Washington, the junior. 44 catches, 510 yards, and 4 touchdowns. We also got the Best Interior Lineman Award, which makes no sense. I mean, I know Brandon Baker, he won the Best Center Award last year. He's at 98 overall, but he only played in 6 games and had 2 pancakes, so he must have been injured a lot. Definitely didn't deserve that award just because of his high overall. The awards keep flooding in here. Best Defensive Back Award for Xavier Philsame, the junior safety. He only had 2 interceptions, 36 tackles, and 1 touchdown. Yeah, I don't know if he deserved that either. Another award for Brandon Baker, the center that only played 6 games. He wins the Best Center Award. Here's an award that I've never seen before in the game or have won. Best Special Teams Returner. Running back Jarrett Gibson had 47 returns for 945 yards with 1 touchdown. Here is a look at the 2027 College Football Playoff bracket. We got the number 1 seed because we're ranked number 1. Number 2 is Florida State. They're 13-0 with their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Colorado and Oregon over here. It looks like we're going to be playing against either Florida or Liberty. We are going to be playing against Florida. They beat Liberty 31-21. If we win this game, we'll be playing against either Colorado or Ole Miss. We did end up beating Florida 36-24, and we're going to be playing against Colorado. They beat Ole Miss 35-29. Look at the stats in our game against Florida. Owens didn't have the best game ever, a 140 rating, 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 65% completion. It's not a terrible game at all. Cheeks 62 yards rushing with the touchdown. Niblett had a rushing touchdown. For some reason, it looks like Cheeks was doing better in a backup role last year. Wingo 86 yards. Westbrook had a touchdown. Niblett had a touchdown. Washington, the tight end, they all had receiving touchdowns. Defensively, Virgin had the most tackles with 5. Zena had 2 sacks. Richard, Bowers, and Muamba all had 1 and no interception. It looks like we destroyed Colorado 48-17, and we're gonna be playing against Florida State. So it's number 1 versus number 2 in the national championship. Florida State won 42-21. They are 15-0 and we are 14-1. Look at the stats in this Colorado game real quick. Trey Owens had a 180 rating, 358 yards, 4 tutties, 0 interceptions, 69% completion. Yeah, he's looking really good here. Russian Cheeks had 62 yards and 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Niblett 8 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Westbrook had 100 yards and a touchdown. Tight end Washington had a receiving touchdown. Defensively, Prox and Soto both had the most tackles with 7. Richard had the 1 sack, and then Wardell Mack had the 1 interception. Went ahead and jumped into the national championship game, and I'm going to do a super sim. I didn't want to do it the last time we made it to the championship because typically whenever I do this, we lose the game. But here we go. Let's see what happens. First quarter, we're losing 14-0 already. Yeah, 14-7 now. 21-7. It's not looking good for us at halftime. 24-7. Yeah, this is why I didn't want to jump into the game. in the fourth quarter here, and we lost. Florida State defeats us in the Super Sim. I was hoping that we were gonna get animation of us winning so I can show it, but instead I got all these boys looking sad with their hoodies underneath their pads. There's Roman Hoke, the Heisman winning quarterback in his senior year. It's sad, man, pure sadness. I was hoping to go back to back. Looking at the stats from the game, Trey Owens only a 118 rating, not good. 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 1 interception. Only a 40% completion. What the hell, man? Cheeks actually had 8 carries for 73 yards. Receiving, Westbrook 4 for 100 yards and a touchdown. Niblett had a receiving touchdown. Defensively, Virgin had the most tackles with 8. No sacks and no interceptions for our defense. Now that the season is officially over, it's time to look at the season stats. Quarterback Trey Owens had 4,200 yards, 47 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. That's a freaking crazy interception touchdown ratio. 165 rating, and then we can't forget Kyrie Forrest coming in to play 1 game. 390 yards, 5 touchdowns, 94% completion with the 368.5 rating. That was insane, especially for a freshman. Running back Cheeks, 238 carries, 1,100 yards, 4.9 per carry is better than I thought he was going to get, because every time that we actually looked at his stats, he was not doing good. He had 8 rushing touchdowns, and then Gibson had 13 rushing touchdowns, and he's the one that won the returner of the year. Receiving, we got 3 guys over 1,000 yards. Westbrook, almost 1,400 yards with 16 touchdowns as a sophomore. Wingo, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. Niblett in his redshirt senior year, 1,000 yards, 16 touchdowns. Tight end Jordan Washington won the best tight end award, 600 yards, 6 touchdowns. Defensively, Suttle had the most tackles with 92. Tackles for loss, Muwamba and Richard both had 8. Sacks, Muwamba had 8.5. Dina had 7. Gillette, Bowers, and Simmons all had 4. Interceptions, the freshman free safety had the most with 4. Nice. Oscar Incognito. Prox had 3. Phil Same had 2, Black had 2, and Virgin had 2, and Mac had 2. We ended up having 3 first-team national All-Americans. Our center, Brandon Baker, even though they only played in 6 games. Our right tackle, Philip Fortunato, he got it with a 91 overall. And then our outside linebacker, Darian Gillette. Second team, I don't know if we have any here. Nope. Freshman, we got one here. Artie Gruber, the left guard, 88 overall as a freshman. And our free safety, Oscar Incognito, 87 overall. We only have 2 players I want to leave, and it's because they both projected to go in the first round. Wide receiver Ryan Wingo, can we get him to stay? He decided to stay. All right. Can we get Baker to stay once again? He was projected to go in the first round last year. Now he's like, nah, I'm going to the draft. Don't blame me, bro. He only played in 6 games anyway. Graduating players, we got Darian Gillette, the outside linebacker. He's projected to go in the first round as a 93 overall. Wide receiver Ryan Niblett, 89 overall, projected to go in the 4th round. And then cornerback Chancellor Prox, he just transferred over here. He is projected to go in the 7th round as an 88 overall and only had normal dev. We have 2 guys down here, Kojo and Gooseby, that are both 87 overall, not projected to get drafted, but wouldn't be surprised if they went in the 7th, 6th, or even 5th round. We did not do any recruiting at all this season, but I'm looking at the transfer portal, and I'm going to probably go ahead and try to get a few of these guys that could potentially start for us right away in the 5th and final season of the rebuild. Almost forgot to show the draft results. Our center, Brandon Baker, 98 overall, goes in the 1st round. Darian Gillette, the outside linebacker, goes in the 1st round. Wide receiver Ryan Niblett goes in the 3rd round, and then cornerback Chancellor Prox goes in the 4th round. I tried to go after 7 transfers. We ended up getting 6 of them, so we only got the 118th ranked recruiting class. Only 6 players. All 6 of them were 4 stars. We can look at their dev traits. We got impact, normal, impact, star dev for this outside linebacker, normal, and then star dev for this wide receiver. All right, it's the 5th and final season of the rebuild. At quarterback, we got Trey Owens in his red shirt senior year, fully developed. He's up to a 91 overall. We do got Kyrie Forrest to back him up if we need him to. Dude came in balling last year. Cheeks is up to a 98 overall. Broholt's a 92. Gibson's a 90. At wide receiver, this is the best player on our team, Ryan Wingo. He's a 99 overall red shirt senior. 99 speed, 99 catching traffic. Levine is a 93, Westbrook's a 92. At tight end, Kendricks is an 85, and then we have a redshirt freshman that's an 85 overall also. Left tackle is a 94, left guard's a 95, center is a 90, right guard's a 94, right tackle is a 87, left end's a 91, right end's a 91, D tackle 93, 90, 90. 90 all over the place, man. Left outside linebacker is a 91, middle linebacker 87, outside linebacker 88, cornerback 91, 90, and 88. Hold on, what was that one cornerback? Jermaine Lloyd, 88 overall as a redshirt freshman. Free safety 93 for Oscar Incognito, and strong safety Phil Sames at 86. We're ranked number 1 to start the season off. We are 96 overall, and offense and defense is a 96. Best team so far. Here's the schedule for the final season. I never edit the schedules, just however they have them is where I leave it at. We got Wisconsin, FCS Southeast, UTSA, Kentucky's number 21, Arkansas, number 20, Georgia, number 4, Oklahoma, South Alabama, number 6, Florida, number 16, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Texas A&M. How many home games do we have? It's like nothing but home games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What the hell? Why did they schedule it like that? If I'd have noticed that, I would have changed to half away and half home. Looking at the Heisman watch before the season starts, the number 1 guy is our wide receiver, Ryan Wingo, 99 overall. That's the only guy that we have up there. We are 4 games into the regular season, and we are 4-0, still ranked number 1. We beat Wisconsin 32-23. They're still ranked number 12, even though they're 1-2. We beat FCS Southeast 56-17. We beat UTSA 41-17, and we beat Kentucky 48-13. Let's look at the stats in this game. See how Trey Owens, not the ESPN dude. 155 rating, 220 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 60% completion. Ryan Wingo, what the hell? He's our number 1 receiver. Dude had 3 carries running the ball, 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. On his way to a Heisman out here. Nathan Cheeks, 83 yards and a touchdown. Froho had a touchdown. Gibson had a touchdown. And then Ryan Wingo also had 6 catches, 96 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, dude is going crazy. Peace had the most tackles with 7 sacks. Amerson had 1, interceptions Peace had 1, and Virgin had 1. 8 games into the regular season, we're 8-0, still ranked number 1. We destroyed Arkansas 70-37. Wow. We beat Georgia in a close shootout here, 53-51. Oklahoma, we beat them 46-34, and then we destroyed Alabama 59-10. I want to look at the stats in this Georgia game. 53-51, very close game. Owens had a great game, 200 rating, 350 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 64% completion. Dude was balling. Cheeks had 100 yards rushing with 1 touchdown. Receiving, Wingo, the Heisman hopeful, 9 for 162 and 2 touchdowns. Westbrook had 2, and then Bruce Levine had 2. Defensively, Flemister had 13 tackles, led the team by a lot. Flemister also had a sack. Mwamba had a sack. And no interceptions. We got the SEC Offensive Player of the Week for Ryan Wingo. This is actually the 2nd time that he won it this season. I just didn't show it the first time, but he's on a Heisman hopeful watch here. So we got 8 catches, 185 yards, 2 tutties. Quarterback Trey Owens wins the SEC Offensive Player of the Week against Vanderbilt. 301 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. We have finished the regular season 12-0, still ranked number 1. We beat Florida by a lot, 51-7. Beat Mississippi State 35-24, destroyed Vanderbilt 45-0, beat Texas A&M respectively 45-28 to close out the season. Let's look at the stats in this. Owens, great game, 230 rating, 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, 80% completion. Let's go. Cheeks, another 100-yard game rushing. Froho had the 1 rushing touchdown. Receiving, Westbrook 9 for 191 and a tutty. Dogby, I don't know who this dude is. All right, 47 yards and a touchdown. Butler had 2 touchdowns. Where's Wingo at? Is he hurt? And he got injured. That's not good for his Heisman race. Defensively, Flemister had the most tackles with 9. Zach Simmons had 1. And then Subtle and Black both had interceptions. Obviously, we made it to the SEC Conference Championship if we were the number 1 ranked team, but it is against number 3 Kentucky. I don't know what the record is, but that is interesting. They are 9-3 on the season, and they're ranked number 3. That is kind of disgusting. Once again, we win the SEC Championship as expected. Trey Owens, 218 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Final score was 38-13 in the win over Kentucky. They're now dropped down to number 4. Owens, a 196 rating, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. We saw he had 0 interceptions. We actually saw all of his stats. Cheeks, 114 yards, 7.6 per carry with 1 rushing touchdown. Owens actually had a rushing touchdown from the quarterback spot. Butler had a touchdown. Westbrook, Levine. I need to look at Wingo's injury to see how like severe it is. I forgot to do that. Defensively, Flemister had 8 tackles leading the team. Uwamba had 1 sack, and then Jabari Peace with his interception. Well, it appears that Wingo is going to be out forever because he has a torn pectoral and he's going to be out for 30 weeks. So he's definitely not making it back for the championship or the playoffs. That is not good. Let's look at what his stats were for the season. 64 catches, 1,100 yards, 17 touchdowns. Pretty awesome. Even with the injury and missing, I don't know how many games, we got the 2028 Player of the Year award. Ryan Wingo, wide receiver. We saw his stats. Any other awards here? What else we got? Ryan Wingo, Heisman Trophy. Ooh, he won it. Nice. Boy, deserved it. 99 overall with 99 speed. Out here getting 100-yard rushing gains. Trey Owens wins the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award. 4,039 yards, 51 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Woo. Trey Owens also wins the Best Quarterback Award. See, we got the Best Running Back Award for Nathan Cheeks. 186 carries, 1,194 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Another award here for Best Tight End, sophomore tight end Bradley Kendricks, 40 catches, 477 yards, only 1 touchdown though. We got Best Defensive Back Award for Jabari Peace. His last name is Peace, but he aims to be unpeaceful and get interceptions and tackles. He got 5 interceptions, 42 tackles, no touchdowns. Is that it? No, we got another one here. Lombardi Award for defensive end Colin Simmons, 5 sacks, 12 tackles for loss with 27 total tackles. Wanted to check out the coaching opportunities just for shits and giggles because I haven't done that. And you know, we already won 1 championship, made it to another one and lost it, and we're currently #1 on our way to another championship. And we got an offensive coordinator opportunity for Alabama, defensive coordinator for Georgia, defensive coordinator for Nebraska. Only Washington is like, yeah, we'll let y'all be our head coach. How does that make any sense? We're literally the best coach in college football and we're being disrespected. Here is the 2028 college football playoff bracket. We are the #1 seed, 13-0. Number 2 is 11-2. And then the number 3 team is Liberty, who's 11-2. So we're the only team that were undefeated. Looks like there's only one other school that had 1 loss, and that's East Carolina. They went 12-1, but they're number 8 seed. So it looks like we're going to play either against East Carolina or Florida Atlantic. We will be playing against Florida Atlantic as they beat East Carolina 41-24. If we do beat Florida Atlantic, we'll be playing against either North Carolina or Arizona State. As expected, we do beat Florida Atlantic 36-17, maybe a little bit closer than I would hope for, but looking at the stats. Owens, a 178 rating, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 68% completion. Cheeks with 93 yards and a touchdown. Froholt had a rushing touchdown. Receiving, Butler 84 yards and a touchdown. Westbrook had 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Peace had the most tackles with 5. Uwamba had 1 sack and Lloyd had 1 interception, the freshman cornerback. That's 86 overall. And since we won, we will be playing against North Carolina, who defeated Arizona State 56-31. So their offense is legit. Well, we made it to our 3rd national championship in a row. We did defeat North Carolina 28-22. Look at the stats in the game here. Owens, a 170 rating, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 63% completion. Pretty awesome game. Running game was basically non-existent. I guess we didn't really need it. Butler, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. Levine had 1 touchdown on 76 yards. Defensively, Peace with the most tackles again with 9 sacks. Amerson got 2, Simmons got 1, and then Kobe Black with 2 interceptions. Woof. And that means that we're playing against Ole Miss in the championship. They are 12-3, and we are 15-0 at this point. Our best season we've had so far. Ole Miss beat Oklahoma 50-21, and then they beat number 2 Pittsburgh 48-17. Destroyed them. They're destroying everybody. They beat Ole Miss beat Liberty 45-22, or should I say they beat themselves? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Probably gonna regret this, but I am gonna jump into the game and do a super sim once again because I want to try to see if we can get some animations of Texas with the championship trophy. But look at Ole Miss is only at 85 overall. We're at 96, so in theory we should win this game. But in super sim, you never know what's gonna happen. Here we go, super sim getting activated. First quarter, We're up 7-0. That's a good start. We're up 14-0. Love it. We're up 21-0. 24-0 at halftime. Love to see it. Come on, let's hold them off and let's get this dub here. End of the third. We're in the fourth quarter. We're up 31-6. 31-13. They tried to come back, but guess what? We got championship number 2, boy. 3 years in a row, made it to the ship. 1, 2 out of 3. Texas Longhorns getting that dub. Like Ole Miss is all sad. They're like, man, they were 96 overall. We're only 85. What the hell are we supposed to do? Trey Owens out here took over after Archman left, and he lived up to the hype and the expectations. There's our made-up coach out here balling, doing so well. We didn't even have to do any recruiting at all the last 2 seasons. Trey Owens, a player of the game, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, 66% completion. There they are. National champs 2029. Here's the stats from the national championship game. Trey Owens, 160 rating, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 66% completion. Peaks had 26 yards rushing with 1 touchdown. Gibson had a rushing touchdown. Dogby had 1 receiving touchdown. Butler had 1. Defensively, Black had the most tackles with 6. Soto had 1.5 sacks. Mwamba had half a sack. And then Jabari Peace out here with another interception in the ship, boy. Season is officially over, so it's time to look at the stats. Trey Owens, man, what a crazy season this guy had. Let's look at his career stats here so we can compare him. He's up to a 98 overall. So this season, his rating went up to almost a 200, so way better than last year. 4,800 yards, 59 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, 69% completion, 300 yards per game, 10.5 yards per attempt. Dude might be better than Arch Manning at this point. Rushing right here, we got Cheeks, 214 carries, 1,300 yards, 6.2 per carry with 12 touchdowns. I want to look at his career to this point also. So his freshman season, he only had 70 carries. We had 9 touchdowns. Last year, 1,100 yards, only 8 touchdowns. This year, best season by far, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6.2 per carry. Pretty awesome. Wingo at wide receiver had 21 carries with 8 rushing touchdowns. Wow. Froholt had 7. Receiving, Westbrook, 80 catches, 1,400 yards, 19 touchdowns, going crazy. Wingo, 1,100 yards, 17 touchdowns, despite missing, dang, he missed 5 games. Everyone played in 16 games. He only played in 11, and he put up 1,100 yards. That's why he averaged 106 yards per game. That is crazy. 17 touchdowns in 11 games. Levine, 700 yards, 8 touchdowns, and our tight end, 500 yards, 1 touchdown. Butler actually had 7 receiving touchdowns on 300 yards. Lemonster had the most tackles with 96. Tackles for loss, Simmons had 12. Sacks, Mwamba with 10.5. Amerson with 8.5. Simmons with 6. Richards with 5. Peace had the most interceptions with 6. Black had 5. Mack with 4. Soto with 3. Lemonster with 2. Virgin and Lloyd both have 1. That's a ton of interceptions, man. Looking at players leaving, we have 7 players that want to leave early to go to the draft. How crazy this team is. Cheeks is a 99 overall. He's going in the first round. Wingo, 99 overall, going in the first round. Owens, 96, going in the first. Gruber, 94, going in the first. Levine, 92 as a redshirt sophomore, going in the first. How many first rounders we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 first rounders. That is insane. Westbrook, 92, going in the first. Fortunato, the right tackle, 91, going in the first. Richard going in the second. Froholt going in the third. We got 2 running backs here going in the third round. Gibson going in the third. Dina going in the fourth. And then defensive end Colin Simmons going in the 6th. And Kobe Black, 88 overall, not projected. Come on, man. I bet you he goes in the 7th. After simulating to the next week, we just reached our max level with our coach of 50 overall. That's the first time I've ever done that in a rebuild in 5 years. We have 13 players getting drafted. 7 of them went in the first round. Trey Owens was our first guy to get drafted. Quarterback, 96 overall, goes in the first. Cheeks goes in the first. Wingo, the Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver, goes in the first round. Levine, wide receiver, goes in the first. Westbrook, wide receiver, goes in the first. We had 3 wide receivers go in the first round. We had 2 offensive linemen go in the first round. Gruber, a left guard, and right tackle Fortunato. Running back Froholt goes in the second. Gibson goes in the second. 2 running backs went in the second round. Richard at D tackle goes in the second. Zena goes in the third. Simmons goes in the fourth. And then actually Kobe Black goes in the 6th round. Wasn't projected to get drafted. We took over after they went 12-2 In 2023, our first year, we went 8-5, not good. Arch Manning was a starting quarterback, did okay. Second year, 2025, we went 9-4, we won a bowl game. After that, things went insane, and the only thing that changed besides the player turnover, obviously, is the playbook. We switched to the Oregon offensive playbook in 2026, and things went insane. 15-2, we won our first playoff game. Then we won 2 more, and then we also won a national championship. So technically, what is that, 4 playoff wins? 2027 went 14-2. We won the SEC conference championship. We won 2 playoff games, made it to the national championship, and lost. 2028 was our best season by far. Won back-to-back conference championships in the SEC, won a national championship. So we got 2 out of 3 years winning a national championship, went 16-0. Trey Owens was better than Arch Manning at that point, in my opinion. So yeah, this was a crazy rebuild here. If I didn't win at least 1 championship, I was going to be sad. Starting off 8-5, I was pretty scared. And then 9-4 to follow it up, I was like, ugh, I don't know what's going to happen. But whew, things went crazy. That's going to be it for the video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that like button. Comment down below other teams you want to see me rebuild. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.